Hey everyone, Ben here, and welcome along to what I think might just be my best ever ranked session on RaceRoom. We're in the GT4 class at the Red Bull Ring. We're starting in 4th position, just a few tenths of a second off the pole time. But without further ado, let's get onto the grid. It's an action-packed session and the red lights are already coming on here. Into first gear, get the best start that we can. It goes green and we are away, and we've got a fantastic launch. We're coming off to the left-hand side there, but we come together with De Palma, who had exactly the same idea as we did, so we're going to have to just keep narrow into the corner. We nearly come together with Phil Lawson, who's up in first position now, but we just managed to get on the brakes early enough to not rear end him straight off the track. So we got away with one there, just a little bit on cold brakes and cold tyres, but we're up into 2nd position, so it's been a fantastic start. Spot our braking correctly up the hill. Just cross our fingers that a car doesn't get it wrong behind us and come ploughing into the back of us. Once again we get away with it because they don't, and we get through that very tricky, very perilous hairpin at the top of the hill unscathed, and we can consolidate ourselves up into 2nd position here. Now, I've got experience of racing with Phil in our SCB community races, so I know exactly how quick he is. But he's not the only quick driver on this grid. Look at the ratings in the TV tower to the left-hand side, and you'll see the top 6 have all got fantastic ratings. So we're going to be under pressure here at the front of this grid, but I feel like I've got good pace, and if I can hang it with Phil through this opening section of the race, avoid any mistakes, then hopefully we might even be challenging for the race win here, but at a minimum we'll be able to hold on and challenge for a podium position through then into the final part of this first lap. And we are indeed keeping on the rear wing of Phil very nicely up ahead. In fact, we close in through the final corner and we may even get a run on him down into T1 of the next lap. We've got a little bit of a gap now back to Garcia. They're a second behind us, and Lawson 0.2 seconds ahead of us as we cross the start finish line for the first time. He takes a wide entry in, we fake to the inside, but we've got no real intention of trying a move into T1. It's too dangerous. We'll just almost certainly come to grief together. Instead, we've prioritised a decent exit. We're in his slipstream. We're going to pull to the outside. That's going to be the hard way around the hairpin at the top of the hill, but there is room for 2 cars through here. We'll have to leave him space on the inside. You can see we're just a nose ahead going in, but he gets a better exit from the corner, so we have to then just tuck back in to his slipstream down the back straight. We've still got Garcia in very close attention in the Lotus behind us here. We're closing in once again on Lawson. We're going to shape to the inside, but we're just not close enough to risk a move down into the braking zone. Lawson's gone in too deep. We're going to get underneath him on the exit of the corner. Once again, we're side by side, tiny little bit of contact. Unfortunately, we're going to be on the outside for the next left-hander here. Very difficult to run it around the outside here, particularly on cold tyres. I have to bleed out of the throttle and unfortunately just settle in behind once again. Garcia putting all sorts of pressure on. Bit caught out there by Lawson, braking early. We're up onto the curb. We nearly forced off the track here with Garcia to our left-hand side, but we're able to hold it firm, and it looks like we will hold on to 2nd place here and hopefully not face attack into the final couple of corners here. Thankfully, Garcia thinks better of it. I was a little bit nervous there that I was going to find the Lotus diving down our inside at a part of the track where really, again, you can't overtake safely unless the guy up ahead has made a mistake, and that is a bit of a feature of this lap here at the Red Bull Ring. Very difficult to overtake, but we're into another lap once again, and we're still hot on the heels of Lawson up in first place. We get a decent enough run through the first corner, but not enough, it seems, to put significant pressure on Lawson once again up into the hairpin. So we'll have to just regroup, regather, bide our time a little bit here, and then hopefully mount another attack on the next section of the lap. Side by side in our rear view mirror there, the 2 cars behind us, you can see Mollier has taken Garcia for 3rd position, and so we are now surrounded by 1 driver up ahead with a 1.99k rating and 1 behind with a 1.97k rating. Those are dizzy heights that we have never reached on RaceRoom, as we close right in on the rear wing once again of Lawson. This time he did close off the apex, he didn't outbrake himself into the corner, so there was no way past. We had to get hard on the brakes as well, as we're following him through. Once again, this left-hander, really now no overtaking spot until the next lap here. You're going to have to just follow the car ahead of you through this section of track, unless some drama plays out up ahead. You can see we've gone purple in the middle sector. We've got Mollier behind us, just about half a second back. So this could turn into a 3 or 4 way battle for the lead here. There is not a big gap separating any of us as we head around to complete the third lap of this race. We get a nice exit through the final corner. It looks as if I'm consistently quicker than Lawson through that part of the track. We're going to cross the start finish line here and probably take the fastest lap of the race. Yes, we do. Let's just take breath. Let's have a look back at the start of this race and some of those early skirmishes between myself and Lawson for the lead of this race. We managed to get through in second position there. You saw we got a much better launch than Palmer, who had started the race up front. And then on the very next lap, we've tucked ourselves into the slipstream of Lawson, heading up the hill to the hairpin. Very tricky, tight right-hander here. We're on the outside, so we're always at a bit of a disadvantage. We've got to leave space on the inside. 2 cars do go through the corner, but Lawson always with the advantage on the inside there. As long as he didn't make a mistake, he was likely to hold that position. But we got a decent exit, and we're already tucked underneath his rear wing, heading in to the downhill braking zone. The right-hander here, we shape to the inside, but we're not really going to try it. But it's enough potentially to put Lawson off as he runs in deep. That gives us a better exit from the corner, side by side then. But unfortunately, we're now on the outside for the next corner. And so it's really ebbing and flowing here on these opening laps at the Red Bull Ring. We very nearly then come under pressure from behind. We're just able to stop Garcia behind us, getting his nose down the inside, but he gets a better run through this left-hander. He then forces us right to the edge of the track, thankfully not any further, otherwise we would have been in the gravel. And we're able to hold on to the position despite that pressure from the Lotus behind us. We rejoin then just a couple of laps later. Basically, it's been stalemate between the top 3 drivers here, Lawson, myself and Mollier. We've dropped Garcia by just a little bit as we run wide and pick up our first track extension of the race so far. But really, we've just been slugging it out with the Mercedes ahead and the BMW behind as we try and get past Lawson and up into the lead of this race while not making a mistake that would see us drop down to 3rd position. We're very, very evenly matched on pace with these 2 super quick drivers on this day in history. I don't think we've got the speed that they do more generally, but today at least we're able to hang with them. We're heavy on the brakes once again into the hairpin at the top of the hill. We get a nice tight run through that corner. We're quicker on the exit, but we can't get fully on the gas because Lawson is basically blocking our way out of the corner there as he's trying to get traction from the hairpin. We've got a very nice run on him here though. There might be half a chance into the downhill braking zone. Right-hander here. Once again he's heavy on the brakes. He's trying to cut off the inside, but he's ran in slightly deep once more. It will give us a better exit. Is it a good enough exit? We're just about alongside him here. Yes, we are. We've got all the momentum heading into the left-hander. We're going to try and hold it around the outside of this corner here. He's on our inside. He's got the best line through the corner. We just can't make it stick. The grip runs out on you around the outside of that corner, and unfortunately we just had to give him the room that he needed there through that part of the track. You'll see then that our heads-up displays disappeared. Unfortunately, I had an issue recording this race, so we're now using replay footage for the rest of this battle. To be fair, the heads-up display is a little bit broken on RaceRoom at the moment anyway, so we're not missing too much, but we'll just have to stick with this raw footage from the replay, and I will talk you through where we are in this race as we cross the start-finish line. Of course, you know we're in second place, fighting for the win. Shaping down the inside again into T1, just hoping to force a mistake really more than anything. Not really expecting to be able to mount an overtake. We've got a good exit from the corner. You'll see in our rear view mirror to the right hand side of the top of the screen, you can see Mollier still in close attention, so we're not missing out there either. We're in the draft though, closing in all the time on Lawson. We're going to have another run around his outside into the hairpin. Can't see him, he's in our blind spot here as we come around the corner, but once once more. He's able to defend on the inside, but we are quicker on the exit of the corner again. We duck back in for a little bit of slipstream to try and just maximise our speed down this back straight, peel off to the left-hand side once again. We're going to be around the outside here into the right-hander. This is going to be a different line for us through the corner. We give him space on the inside. I'm trying to get the inside for the next corner to be able to then run him out of space on the outside, but unfortunately we can't make it work. He's able to maintain position on that bit of straight before the left-hander, and we just have to concede it once again. We just didn't have the traction coming out of the corner, unfortunately, and he is held onto the lead once again, as I'm now honestly beginning to run out of ideas as to how we're going to get past Lawson. I feel like we've got the better pace, actually, which is a really strange thing for me to be able to say against a guy of Phil's calibre, but I just can't get past him. I'm not quick enough in order to be able to squeeze on past into one of the couple of overtaking opportunities on this lap, and he is defending really, really well, positioning his car fantastically to just prevent us being able to get alongside and out of a corner in the lead. Through then into T1 once again. We just about keep the car. It slid as I'm just really pushing now, trying to put on the maximum amount of pressure that I can and trying to really get a good run up into the hairpin to allow me to switch to the inside and control the corner. So far, when we've been alongside Phil, we haven't been in control of the corner. We've been on the outside. We've been on the less optimal line. That's the thing I have to be able to change before the end of this race if we're going to claim this win today. We've got less than 5 minutes left now, so just a few laps to get this move done. Mollier still in close attendance behind, hard on the brakes here. Phil takes a very nice line on the inside of the corner there. We do get a marginally better exit as we take a wider entry to the corner, but nothing like the advantage we had in previous laps, so I'm going to have to just settle in behind him here into this next part of the track. He's slightly out of shape into the left-hander. That gives me a little bit of encouragement. I try and get on the gas early, but I've ran it out wide. 2 tyres into the gravel. We try and then cover off the inside because Mollier has got all kinds of interest behind us, but we get it wrong on the brakes and Mollier's squeezed past us. We've gone from fighting for the lead to dropping down into 3rd position. Just a tiny mistake on the exit of that left-hander saw us dip 1 or 2 tyres into the gravel. It was enough to lose momentum down into the next left-hander. I tried to salvage it by getting hard on the brakes into the left-hander, but unfortunately we just couldn't get the car slowed down, and that allowed Mollier to get back alongside us and past. We are putting pressure on though into T1. I'm going to try and get this position straight back. We pull to the inside, but once again they're just not close enough to try and stick one down the inside. Mollier keeps his composure through T1 and he holds on to the position. What phenomenal racing, but I'm so frustrated in the cockpit at this point that I was the one who made the mistake, putting the pressure on Lawson as we tried to squeeze our way into contention for this win. Let's take a look back at some replay footage then. You can see from this aerial camera just how close the 3 of us are fighting for this race win here. We've broken away from the rest of the pack. Here we are closing in on Lawson up ahead here into the braking zone of the hairpin at the top of the hill. In fairness, after a poor start, Palmer is in the back of this shot, so he is trying to get up onto the back of this fight as well, but he's just got a little bit too much work to do given that poor start to the race that he had. We're coming into the braking zone then once again of this downhill right-hander, tricky corner. Once more we are going to get alongside Lawson on the exit here. This was potentially one of the best chances we had all race long of holding Lawson around the outside and just trying to get alongside him into the next corner, but we just can't make it work. And to be honest, even if we had, we'd have still been on the outside for the next left-hander. Once again then, just showing some of this close battling between the 3 of us for the lead. You'll see we're both, Mollier and I, tucked underneath Lawson's rear wing and into his slipstream, so we're going to have the overspeed on him. He comes to the inside of the corner very nicely. Mollier just waiting to see if there's any pieces that he can pick up through the corner. We're again side by side. Very fair, very close, but very hard racing for the lead of this race. Again, we get a decent exit, but I have to duck back into his slipstream to try and maximise our speed into the next corner. This is a slightly different attack for us from compared to previous laps here. We're around the outside. I'm trying to get the inside of the next corner, but unfortunately we're up on the curbs. We just can't get the exit from the corner that Lawson does down the inside, and unfortunately we're not able to get alongside into this corner. And here then is where the big mistake happens. On the very next lap, we're following again Linus turn through the left-hander. We just get greedy. We grab the throttle too early. Mollier does very well to avoid us as we're coming back on track with less grip than I expected, and then he picks his moment to thread his BMW past. And after lap after lap after lap of putting pressure on Lawson for the lead of this race, we've dropped down into third position, and we've got it all to do to try and get back up into second position. Here's a final view of that mistake then. You can see we're all on the same line, but I just take too much throttle through the middle part of that corner. I'm not patient enough before getting on the gas, and that's all it takes to make a mistake when the racing is this close to lose a position. And it just goes to show how impeccable Lawson has been up in first position to not make a similar mistake under the pressure we were putting on him, which would have given us the opportunity to get on past. We've rejoined the live action, and this is the very last lap of the race, and unfortunately in the lap and a half since that mistake I just wasn't able to close in sufficiently on the lead two cars here to try and claim back my second position. Just didn't have the pace. I think, in fairness, mentally I was just pretty upset with myself for making that mistake at this part of the race. I tried to refocus, but in the end I didn't quite get back onto the lap times that I was setting. You see then Lawson weaving from side to side. He's celebrating what was a fantastic win. But honestly guys, for open lobby online racing, that was superb. So enjoyable. I might have not got the finish position that I wanted. I could sense a race victory, and believe me, race victories do not come along very often for me on online racing, especially against a field as good as this at the front of this grid. But despite that, just great fun. A fantastic battle between myself, Mollier and Lawson for the race win, and congratulations to Phil for ultimately taking the checkered flag. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've been inspired to get yourself onto RaceRoom. I recommend trying out the GT4 at Red Bull Ring this week on the new schedule. You've got all the rest of the week to try this out for yourself. We're going to be back on the servers later on in the week, as well as doing a bit more iRacing. If you've enjoyed the video, please do leave a like, get subscribed, and I will see you on the next one.